Hello, everyone, and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host, Logan Landers, and today we're going to have a very special NFL game preview between the Tennessee Titans and the Green Bay Packers. Now, you guys know on the show we normally talk about colleges a good bit. We normally talk about the University of Tennessee with the Volunteers. We actually did a recruiting class special this morning with myself and Jeremiah, but we're going to be kicking things over to the NFL today. And I brought on a good expert about the Tennessee Titans. I'm bringing on a young lady by the name of Anna Lewis. Hello, Anna. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you, Logan?
Hey, I can't complain. It's a beautiful Monday. The birds are chirping out here in Georgia, so I can't do it. I mean, I'm ready to talk some football, and I know you are too. You know a lot about the Titans. You're a very big fan of theirs, and I know you're from Tennessee, so I know you know a lot about this team, and I know you grew up watching them, so they're embedded into your heart. I would say you know a lot about this team, and you're ready to spout your opinions on our show. I know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This team is the reason I know that I've shared this with you, but go ahead and share it with your viewers. I actually got to coach a little bit of college football as well, and the Titans are the reason I wanted to do that. So just watching them, watching the way they play, made me want – I actually wanted to play, but my parents were like, maybe that's not a great idea. It was the 90s. So, but it was a different time. Now we have Sarah Fuller, which that was awesome. But, it evolved. My dream evolved into more of a coaching role, and now it's evolved into podcasting and analytics and that kind of thing, and getting to talk to players and kind of share their experiences. So I've always had a very very strong passion for football.
Right.
It's just evolved as to what that has looked like. So yes, and the Titans are at the forefront of that. I don't have a college team. I only care about the Titans.
Hey, that's understandable. At least you do have a team you can root for. That's always good. We'll take that on the show. We all have our hometown teams that we want to root for and want to be doing good with. I know Vincent and Jeremiah are two other guys on the team. They love some balls, so that's their team. They ride or die for. But hey, every year is different. And hey, let's face it, the Titans are having a great year this year. But let's get into this game preview. So since you're pretty much an expert about this Titans team, I'm going to let you start things off. How can the Titans beat the Packers this upcoming week?
Yeah, so it's easy, and it's not easy, but the plan is easy. Run the ball, control the clock. You can't give Aaron Rodgers too much time. It's just like when you're matching up for Drew Brees or Patrick Mahomes or any other elite quarterback, you have to make sure that you don't give them too much time. You have to make sure you're controlling the game, because the second that they get a 2-touchdown lead on you, then we get out of what we do best, and that's give the ball to Derrick Henry. So as long as we can control the clock early and often, I think we will be all right, and it'll be a close game. I don't anticipate a blowout either way. I think these are two teams that really want to fight, and they both have a lot to prove in different ways. Aaron Rodgers has been trying to prove himself all season, because people are saying, he's washed up, and he's obviously proved that he's not. He's had an excellent year. And he's got some receivers that I'm a little scared of, I'm not gonna lie. But the Titans feel like they play with a chip on their shoulder every single year, because everybody counts them out. And this is the first time in a long time that we're 10-4, and it's not a conversation. I thought I didn't necessarily think we'd be having this conversation right now. So it's exciting. As a fan, I am just pumped to see what they do in Green Bay. It's going to be cold. Derrick Henry, I mean, we call it D-Henber down here. So, when it gets cold, people start making career decisions. And there were a lot of jokes made about that last year, but it's real. I mean, he's a big guy, and he runs hard. So linebackers and guys in the secondary aren't real keen on tackling him. Nobody wants to be Josh Norman all over again, which I don't know if you saw it, but it happened again yesterday.
It did, yeah. That man has a lethal stiff arm.
He does. That's the biggest key to the game, is making sure that we can control the clock so that we can give the rock to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you want to give the ball to the lead league in rusher guy? I mean, he's just been phenomenal. Really, since he came out of Alabama, he's been highly touted, and he's finally showing why he was worth that draft pick all those years ago, and why he's proving it game after game now. And I mean, it just seems like it is. It seems like yeah, it just seems like every game you get a new highlight from him, like you were saying.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch, seeing that more of a power back kind of be back in the league after seeing a lot of more elusive type of running backs that are just going to juke you out your shoes. Now he's just going to run through you. That's his style of play. And that's how he was in Alabama.
Yeah, and that's 100% Titans football. I mean, if you go back to like my podcast partner. If you guys want to go check out our show, it's Titans Beat, and we're on Spotify and all that. But Albert Hainsworth is one of my podcast partners, and he was just a tough dude. And a lot of people, don't love some of the stuff that he did, but he was just rough. And that's the way Titans football has been since he was there. So it is really cool to see another power back. I mean, it's like Eddie George, Earl Campbell, like some of those guys, the reincarnation of them coming back and playing for the Titans again. It's been a blast to watch. I think a lot of people that, I have several friends that are Colts fans or Jags fans or whatever, and they're divisional rivals. Even they're like, I hate that you have him, but I have to enjoy this because we're seeing, once in a lifetime talent right now. And he really is ridiculous. And something else I thought was crazy is, we're in Tennessee, we're used to a heavy defense team and then, not a crazy offense. And right now we're leading the league in points per game. We're beating Kansas City in that. And that's just something that I saw yesterday. I was like, I never thought I'd be looking at the Titans leading the league in points per game. This is crazy. So it's been a fun season to watch, and I think a lot of it does hinge off of Derrick Henry, but Ryan Tannehill's got to be able to make his play action decisions that he's been doing so well with this year. So it's a balancing game there, but both of those guys' games hinge off of each other, and as long as we can establish that run game early, I think it's going to be a great Tennessee offensive showing.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a good point there that Tennessee's in the past been primarily more of a defensive-oriented team. And their defense is no joke either. They're leading the league in terms of their turnover differential at the moment right now. Them and the Colts are tied with 12 apiece. So, I mean, while you do look at that and think, man, they are kind of stacked on the offensive end, their defensive side is also getting the ball a good bit also. And, I mean, like you said, they were leading the Chiefs in terms of the offensive yards. And man, their passing game's been up there too. I know I'm in most, their running game. That's their bread and butter right there. They're second in the league in terms of rushing, right behind Baltimore. So they've really done a good job. And that, like I said, that's what they're mostly known for, is running the ball hard. And also, the quarterback play has been phenomenal this year as well. I'm sure it's been a nice kick. And I'm sure it's helped you guys out a lot in terms of your 10-4 record. Tannehill's thrown for over 3,000 yards. Closing it on 3,500. And Corey Davis is right about to crack that 1,000-yard plateau, which I don't think a lot of people outside of the Tennessee market kind of saw coming. So he's had a breakout year as well. But overall, I mean, the team's been very good. It's just those pesky Colts are right there with y'all, not dying. So
they always are. They're always right there.
They are. But this is going to be a tough game, though. Let me go over to the Packers side of things, because we have a little bit. The Packers, as you guys know, the best team in the NFC at the moment. They've taken over the Saints in terms of the record, best overall record, and you can't ever count out the Packers. They're always going to be in the playoff hunt. You can't count out Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league since he came in back in the early 2000s. And I know, like you brought up earlier, whenever they people thought he was washed up whenever they drafted Jordan Love in this past draft. I wasn't really in that same boat. I'm like, man, you guys are really going to draft a backup quarterback. I saw that more of just kind of like a teaching tool. It's like, look, Aaron's not going to be here forever. Let's might as well go and get a young guy. That way he can learn under this veteran who's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. And then once Aaron decides to hang up the cleats, we'll have a good backup plan once it's all said and done. And I mean, he's proved to everyone this year that Rodgers is not done. He's well and alive. I mean, he's in talks for another MVP possibly. Which is insane. Really, to me, it's a two-man race between him and Mahomes. Those are the two quarterbacks dueling it out. There's all, like I said, Josh Allen's been playing good for Buffalo, but I think right now those are my two picks for MVP. And I mean, as talented and as his veteran leadership that Rodgers had, I mean, he's got a Super Bowl before, he's got MVPs. He could potentially lead this Packers team to another deep playoff run. But this is a big game for both teams, honestly, just building momentum going into the playoffs. For the Titans, I wouldn't say it's a desperate win, but it would be a great win to put on your shoulder if you were able to get this win against the best team in the NFC, as well as get a little bit more of another game of cushion between you guys and the Colts who are fighting at it. So it's going to be a great game. And I mean, I know that you're hoping that the division gets locked up for y'all sooner rather than later. And this would be a great game to help do so. But I mean, outside of Rodgers, I mean, the Packers have a very good team. I mean, Devontae Adams is proven to be one of the best, kind of, I'd say more of a breakout role in terms of a wide receiver. This year, I know he had a little bit of injury bug, but he seems to get a little bit better off of that. But in terms of just their whole team, I mean, you can't get too much better than those two. That's a heck of a 1-2 combo, if you ask me. They're doing really good. But to me, the key is, well, yes, both of these offenses are very high powered. It's going to be who's going to make mistakes and what defense is going to really pick it up, because that's the key. We were talking about how good the Titans defense was, and I think they do have a slight advantage in terms of that aspect going into this game. But I'm ready for this. This is going to be a good game. Can Malcolm Butler get some interceptions? You know, can Bird get some more tackles? Can he get an interception as well? We'll have to see. Can they force some fumbles? I mean, any kind of defense you can think about. I know both these teams are going to be going hard at it. They're going to be fighting for fumbles. They're going to be hitting guys hard, trying to get that ball jarred loose, getting some interceptions. But that's my key to this game, is which team will make the first mistake on offense and what defense will create that potential. Because let's face it, I see both of these guys scoring close to 30 points. If you know, as good as the offense has been on paper. Yeah, exactly. As good as the offense has been on paper. So that's my key. Do you have any other thoughts on this game you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, so two things. I do think that this game is going to come down to who can force the first turnover or major mistake. It's not necessarily a stop, but a major mistake to shift the momentum, because both these teams, their offenses operate so heavily off of that momentum, just like most teams. But if you watch these two teams, if something negative happens, they lose it. And if that happens in the second half, they don't have that time to go into the locker room at halftime and recharge. It's like, so a second half momentum shift is going to be a big key here. So, you know, you guys bookmark that and quote me, because I do believe that. The other thing is, like, so the Titans defense is really good at creating turnovers. They're not looking great from a coverage perspective, which terrifies me. Our secondary has been, our depth is gone. We've been battling injuries all year. Adoree Jackson made his debut yesterday, and he looked good, but he looked tired, which is to be expected. So between him, Malcolm Butler, Kevin Byard, Kenny Vaccaro was inactive yesterday. A lot of our guys in the secondary are gone, or have been gone. So I'm hoping that this week isn't like the first time we see them get a lot of snaps. I hope they mix it up, because you're going up into an environment that we're not used to. Green Bay is cold. So that makes the difference in how your body reacts to that. And then them not playing as much recently, that makes a big difference too. So I do think that there's going to be a little bit of struggle on the Titans defensive side of the ball, where we do shine. And, you know, what I coached was defensive line. And I mean, I talk about him all the time. So anybody that follows me is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Jeffrey Simmons is my absolute favorite player on this team, because he's a monster. And I think he's going to be the one. He forces fumbles like it's, you know, a pastime. I mean, he's so good at it. So I think the issue you're going to see is on a run, Jeffrey Simmons is going to force a fumble. I think that's going to be what decides the game. There's not really anybody on Green Bay's defense that I think has that kind of impact that he does. So that's what I see coming. I hope I'm right, because that means my team would win. But the other thing that this game is really interesting for is the MVP talks, because if the Titans defense can shut Aaron Rodgers down, I don't think you're going to, you know, I don't think you're going to shut him down completely. And I don't think anybody's going to shut down Mahomes completely. But if you can slow him down, then he's not as high in that talk. And if Derrick Henry goes off, Derrick Henry still has to be in that conversation. I know it's a quarterback award, but I mean, if he breaks 2,000 or if he gets 1,800 or 1,900 yards, like, why doesn't he deserve to be in that conversation? So he's an incredible talent. And when you look at, we talk about all the time on our show because we're a Titans podcast, but when you look at MVP, like most valuable player, and to me, that's to your team, not necessarily to the league. To your team, the Titans are not the same without Derrick Henry. They don't have the impact they do. Ryan Tannehill does not win without Derrick Henry. And people get mad at me for saying that, but the numbers show it. I think he's like 4 and 6 if Derrick Henry has under 100 yards, and then he's like 11 and 2 if Derrick Henry has over 100 yards. So Derrick Henry being in the game and having an impact makes a huge difference. And he is the most valuable player to this team. And I think if he breaks 2,000 yards, you know, I mean, he's up there with what Adrian Peterson did several years ago. So this game has a lot of implications. It has a lot of playoff implications, but also has a lot of MVP talks implications, because the Titans defense can slow down Aaron Rodgers, and the Green Bay doesn't have the best rushing defense. So if Derrick Henry can go off in that cold weather against a bad rushing defense, he solidifies his spot in that conversation, and hopefully gets the trophy. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that would be pretty. It's rare that a non-quarterback could potentially win the MVP. And I mean, Henry proved over the last, since he's really been in the league, that he has that potential to do so. I mean, he's the best running back in the league right now. And I mean, I think he's going to stay that way for a long time, as long as his body can maintain all those hard hits he's going through each and every week.
Yeah.
But I think he can hold up. He's a strong dude, and I got faith in him to hold up. But I'm ready for this game. I know, like you said, a lot of people don't think about the weather conditions, because that plays a big factor into this. It's going to be cold. Your hands are going to be a little bit shivering. That ball might be a little bit harder to grasp. You might see some receivers more wearing gloves this week.
Drops.
Some more drops too, just based off the cold weather. That's going to sting your hands once it hits you. But this is a prime time game too. This is going to be an 8:20 game this next Sunday. So I'm ready for this.
Ready for it.
There you go.
Me too. I'm excited.
Hey, like I said, this is a lot of implications going on, the MVP playoffs as well. So this is a great game I'm looking forward to, and I know you're ready for the Titans to hopefully come out with a W this upcoming Sunday. I know that.
Yep, absolutely. Who are you rooting for? I'm just curious.
Look, everyone knows on the show I don't play favorites here, but if I had to pick a team who I think has the slight advantage to win this game, I'd go with the Titans, just based off of the Derrick Henry factor alone. Like I said, the Green Bay secondary is not the best in terms of rushing coverage, so I think that might play a big factor in this ball game. But you can't ever count out Aaron Rodgers, though, especially late in the game. So regardless of who wins, I don't have I'm not throwing my bone in anybody who's going to win. I don't have a pick, but I'm ready for this one. I think that the Titans will pull it out, though, in the end. That's my prediction on this. Well, Anna, thank you for coming on the show. Do you have anything that you would like to promote to all of our 100 Yards of Football fans out there?
Yeah, so if you guys want to follow me for Titans content, I put everything out on my Twitter. As you can see, I'm a big Jeff fan through and through. It's my cover photo. So my handle is at Anna_Lewis35. And then I'm actually one of the founding members of the Say It Again Network. So if you want to go give us a follow, the man himself, Jeffrey Simmons, follows us because we show him a lot of love. But we've got several people over there that put out all kinds of content. So, I mean, we cover pretty much every team in the NFL to some extent, but we also cover hockey, basketball, soccer, like everything. And then we cover things that are not sports related. So if you enjoy listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos or anything like that, we've got something for you. So go follow us over there at the SIA Network. That's our handle on all social media accounts. But I just wanted to throw a screenshot of our logo so you could see it. But thank you again for having me on, Logan. I'm excited. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably going to have at least 350, maybe 400 yards. But I think Derrick Henry breaks 200. So
that's a bold prediction. I'm going to hold you to that one.
Yeah, we can talk about it on Sunday.
There we go. That's perfect. Well, if you guys enjoyed this show today, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We're live right now on our Facebook, our YouTube, as well as our Twitch. And also be sure to check us out over at the Believe Podcast Network, where you can listen to us in the audio experience for the show over on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, and anywhere you like to listen to your audio experience. We're over there. And this actually game preview is going to be up by the end of the night. We always do that with our game previews. The day that we record them is the day they are going to be uploaded for listening in your car, working out, wherever you guys want to do with that. Also, thanks to Believe for sponsoring us and helping us out, getting the podcast going on over there. It's been a big help for us. Also, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. We're right close to 100 subscribers. We're hoping to crack that by the end of the year. We got about a week left, so that's our big goal over there. Also, check out our Instagram. We are uploading clips of each and every show, including a little bit of basketball as well now. So you guys be sure to check us out over on Instagram, where we are posting all of the content you are going to be seeing today, as well as a little bit more tonight. So be sure to tune in right here at 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio a little bit later tonight. For my guest, Anna Lewis, thank you for coming on the show. Anna, it was a pleasure having you on. I know we had a little bit of trouble getting you on the last couple of weeks, but I'm glad we were able to get it done.
Me too.
Happy to have this talk with you, talking about this great game between the Titans and the Green Bay Packers. Well, I'm your host, Logan Landers. For my guest, Anna Lewis, you guys have been listening to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. We'll tell you guys a little bit later on the night. See you guys.